Alright, let's try that again. Had a dang microphone decided to stop working, but we fixed it. So now we're good. Get that going. Alright. Stew it up. Alright, well, first things first, let's grab this, put these on. My socks. And then we'll grab these. Shoes, indoor shoes. Alright. That's good. Oh, damn. Alright. So I mean, we're just chilling for a minute. We're just chilling. Dual wield some Febreze, because why not? Make it smell like amazing and wonderful and awesome. Yeah, that's good. Balance this back up. Stay there. Alright. It's been a hot minute since I've done a workout. We'll get into the reasons why shortly. For now, we're just chilling for a minute. We're just chilling. Get ready. Alright. So, yeah, what is this? Number 13, huh? It's been a hot minute. Okay, there's been many more workouts than this. But when I first started working out, I wasn't ready to stream yet. Like, I didn't have my gear and everything ready yet right away. So it's number 13, but it's number 13 that I've recorded. So it's the 13th one that I've recorded. I've done probably 3 times as much as that. So it's like around 40. You know, if you're going once or twice a week, yeah, that sounds about right. So I was exercising since October, the end of October. I think it was like October 28th or 27th or something like that of last year. And then I was going up until... Oh, I'm going to have to get that activated again. Before I restarted my computer. Okay, so we do that. And then, where were we at? Farmer squat. Okay, is that showing up now? Yeah, okay, so... Oh, that went back to the top of the list. So we're going down. Actually, we can see when it started. Well, this one was November 1st, but I know that there was a couple I started in October. That's when I started. But I don't think I started recording it until probably I think it was like January or February where I actually started recording it. Okay, so I mean, bro, that's some gnarly progress. Like, look what I started at. 20, 20, 20, 20 pounds, 17, 17. And this was me giving it my all. Like, this is everything I can do. Like, my absolute till failure. So I had 20 pounds. That's in each hand. And then 17, 17, 15. And my last, like, where I, like, cranked it, I went from 20 to 35. So almost doubled the weight, and I did even more reps than that. Oops, sorry. Pretty good progress, I'd say. We're not gonna reach those numbers today because it's been a hot minute. So I was basically cranking the middle of April. So it's been a hot minute since April, the middle of April. And there's reasons for that. Well, two reasons for that. First reason is, well, now I'm cutting. I'm not, in this here, I was just like eating as much food as possible, trying to eat as much protein and food and calories as possible to gain weight, to gain muscle. So the first reason is now I'm kind of starting to try and like cut that off. So I'm eating like a calorie deficit. So I have less energy, of course. I'm losing weight. I believe around this time I'm not sure you can see it properly there, but I did hit like 207 on the scale at some point, like 207 something. I don't know if you can even see that. I guess you can see. You can't see the month though, but it says April to the left here. This is April 30th. But essentially, that box rate. Oh wait, it is showing 207. What are you guys even looking at on my screen? Oh, down here. Okay, yeah, 207. That's April, like April 12th, 13th. I hit 207.8. That was like the absolute max. And now I'm like here. I've cut from 207.8 to 193.8 over the course of like, let's see, April, May, June, 3, but it's like half April, so like 2.5 months. So I'm down like a little over 10 pounds in 2.5 months, which is honestly pretty good, except I just haven't really been exercising for reason number 2, which is the same old story of came off like an injury many years ago. And it kind of like crept back up right at the end, like right at the last thing there. So I had to take like a pretty physical break there for a while. I feel a lot better now, but I'm still not 100%. So we're just going to do it something easy, something simple today. We're just going to cover the main exercises, but instead of where's it at? Instead of doing 3 sets, like you can see, I've got 3 sets, but I've only been doing 1, and I did this one off stream like a week or 2 ago because I wasn't sure how I was feeling, but it kind of felt all right to manage that, so I didn't stream this, but I did do a workout like June 16th, so today's July 3rd, so that's still a couple weeks back. But I just wanted to see how I was feeling, and it felt all right. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get back into doing this every week, cutting until so I'm 193.8 right now. So I'd like to get down to like maybe, I don't know, like 185 pounds, cut down to 185 or so. maybe 180, depending how I look at that. And then as soon as I hit that, I'm gonna start springboarding and going back into like full blown like mass eating calories, protein, etc., etc. But we're just cruising, we're just chilling. Until then, we're just eating less, doing less, cutting. So yeah, we'll get started in a minute here. Okay. Ugh. I think I've got squats to start, bro. Squats are awful, man. They really take it out of you. But hey, it is what it is, man. Alright. Get some water. I think that's what I'll do. Actually, probably start with this first. Okay, so we actually just finished this one. You can tell this one's empty. This one's unopened. Empty, unopened. So we actually have a neat little trick here. So we've got the fresh one and the empty one. So I'm gonna grab a glass of water. My little cup holder here. You like my little PlayStation cup holder here? Well, cup holder. What do they call them? Coaster. Yeah, my little PlayStation coaster. It's actually pretty neat. You can't even buy these anymore unless you go on eBay and find like a scalper that's selling. That's what I had to do. They don't sell them on the official store anymore, so they must have been like a limited time thing. So I had to get it off a scalper off of eBay, but I kind of really wanted it. Let's see. Yeah. Paladone. They don't sell them anymore, but they're really nice. There is the rest of them here. You can see came with the set of all 4 buttons. I like to use the X, and the other ones I just kind of leave over there for display. Not this desk can't take it. This desk is pretty good. Alright, so I actually have been cranking the creatine the whole time, just because like it takes a bit to get going in the system. Now, I'm not gonna say you have to take creatine or anything like that. You know, it's not anything. It's not like steroids or anything. You get creatine out of red meat or just meats in general and stuff, but it's kind of hard to get the amount your body needs unless you're eating like a metric like load that would be too much for a normal person to like consume. Even like, I don't know how much red meat you'd have to actually eat in a day to meet your like creatine like max, but it's a lot. I mean, you could do it, but it's a lot. So it's easier to just do the powder, and that gets you there no problem. But it's not like PED or anything like that. I mean, you do your own research and look into it and decide for yourself. But I pretty much take creatine and I take a multivitamin. Those are pretty much the main ones. I do have a protein powder, but I mean, it's just food. Like, it's not like something you need or not need. It just depends what you're eating. I only keep a protein powder around just because it's convenient. And it's super lean, so you can just like drink a bunch of protein really fast, and it's like lean. Like there's not much fat or sugar or carbs or anything like that. It's pretty much mostly just protein. So you can just pound that back real quick, and it's not super high calorie and just quick like 20-25 grams of protein, which is pretty good. Otherwise, you just eat like chicken instead or something. Have an extra glass of milk, whatever. Okay. So, the problem I find with these ones is like, not a problem, I should say, but this is the trick I do. It's like, so they have these little scoops you can see in this one. So there's a little scooper. Now there is a scooper in this one too. They all come with scoopers, but I like to use the previous scooper because, as you can see, there is in fact a scooper in there, but you have to like dig your hands or utensil or something in there. So I just grab the previous one, and I just use this one until I get like within range of the other scooper down there. I don't like to dig for it. That's another thing I started doing is I used to like put it in the glass of water and I used to mix it. And then I drink like the whole glass of water. And you can do like I remember back like when I was in my early 20s when I was working out, I got like some flavored creatine that I was using and I did that. But this one is you can see it says unflavored. And I was doing that just out of habit from having the tasty one. I don't know, it's some like citrus flavor. It was actually really good. But I was doing that with this one and I was mixing it and I was like, wait. I did that for months where I was like mixing it. And it's not bad or anything. It's like it's not flavored and the water is good and it was fine. It was just kind of getting annoying after a while. Like, okay, I have to pour in the thing and drink this whole glass of water to get my. And I'm like, why don't I just like shot it and just like one or two gulps and like all the powder's down. It doesn't taste. The powder doesn't taste like anything. It's tasteless, so it doesn't taste good nor bad, and it takes a fraction of the time. Like you've seen how long it took. Just bam, drink. We're done in like 5 seconds. So just makes it a little bit quicker. Now I don't know if there's anything different with the flavored ones, like negatively. I mean, like I don't know if they put anything negative in them to create the flavor or whatnot. But bro, like unflavored is easy as hell. You just done, gone, blam, done. Just like I did there. That's what I do. And I already had my multivitamin today, and I already had dinner, and it's probably been like 2.5 hours since I've eaten, which is actually pretty good for when you want to work out. You don't want to like work out too fast after eating, or you're gonna feel sick to your stomach. Yeah, it's just you're not gonna feel good. Even like, because I remember one time I did a workout, and I wanted to be somewhere. I think I had to go to a friend's place or something at the time. This was many, many months ago. And I like got my workout in like right before I left. And I think after I left, well, the problem is I left, sorry, before I left. I ate dinner and then it was like, oh, I gotta be, and then it was like 40 minutes later, and I was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna do my workout before I go. But it had only been 40 minutes since I ate, and I was like, I have to start right now if I wanna not be late to my friend's place. So I started working out like only 40 minutes after I had like a huge dinner, and I've worked out, like I said, like I've done like 40 like serious workout sessions, and all 39 of them felt fine because I would wait like anywhere from like an hour and a half or more before I started after eating. And this time I did it 40 minutes, and that was the only time I actually felt like nauseous and sick to my stomach trying to like crank it out real quick there. So yeah, I'd recommend not working out with intensity too soon after eating a large meal. Otherwise, you may not react well, because I did not. Okay, so we're back to ground zero of having a foundation, getting ready to work out and crank again. So we'll do a little quick explanation. So, right. I am on disability, Canadian disability, and I guess what I'd like to show is, you know, like everyone knows, like, you look and you look online and you see like this video and that video and this PDF file and this Google document and this Google search and that search, and shows you this and that, and there's a million different get a six pack in 6 weeks and blah 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 blah. But the thing is like everybody's seen that, man or woman, everyone's seen stuff like that, and then you see some like super jacked person or some super fit, lean, like muscular physique that you would dream of or whatever. But then like the fitness industry is so saturated, it's so hard to tell what's real and what isn't. Because a lot of the times it's like you see some super jacked dude with like rippling abdominal muscles and like massive biceps, and he's like, yeah, 6 weeks and you'll look like this too, Spartan workout, blah blah blah. But a lot of the time, or they show those like ab machines that like go over your abs and they like contract or whatever, and it's like, yeah, this will get you a six pack. And it's like, the person that's promoting it, it's like, bro, do you think they even use, you're in the back of your mind, you're like, did they even use this program that they're promoting to get the body that they're showcasing? Like, a lot of it, it's like sponsorship, and they're like, yeah, do this. But you like, some deep in your mind, you're like, I know this person did not do this to look like that. So there's that, and then there's also the other case of, okay, maybe they did do that, but did they use PEDs? No, that's another question. Uh, and I've done my fair share of research into all this, and wouldn't call anyone out, because obviously getting into that kind of thing is a personal choice, and for some people, I guess, it's the right choice, because, if you want to go become a really famous movie star, and that's what, the industry demands of you, or you want to go become, a big bodybuilder, and the no rules, like no limitations, and you want to be the biggest person there is, etc., like, then yeah, you kind of have to do that. And there's other things where you have to do that too. So I wouldn't judge someone. It'd be like, oh, what do we all like hate Arnold because he used stuff or whatever? Like, no. If he didn't, he wouldn't be where he is. And there's a lot of movie actors where if they didn't do it, they wouldn't be where they are either, and et cetera, et cetera. So like, hey, if I'm not gonna judge somebody for doing it, but I'm not gonna do it, because it comes with quite a few cons. I'm not going to get into a huge laundry list of like, oh, why you shouldn't use like PEDs, blah 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 blah. For anyone that doesn't know, PED. Oh, what's up, Kersey? I haven't seen you in a while, bro. What's up, man? So I'm just doing my little monologue here. But I will say, we're gonna crank soon. Um, I've been like, do you ever watch Dragon Ball Z? Are you a DBZ fan, Kersey? I've been good, man. I was just gonna say, like, if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, I was just gonna make a joke and say I've basically been in the hyperbolic time chamber, which is a thing from Dragon Ball Z. It's like a chamber that they go in and they train for a year straight and do nothing but train. So it's like where you go to like zone in and whatever. So I was just I've been like was as I was streaming and I got so much footage and I wasn't like processing it like as much as like I could video edit, but I was really slow at it. So I just kept streaming, and the video footage kept piling up until my hard drive was like completely full. And I'm like, bro, like I have to like hunker down and like filter out all this footage and process it. And so that's what I did. And I've also gotten like a much better understanding of video editing, learned more about video editing. I'm still not a master, but that's why I haven't been streaming, is because not because I haven't been focusing on doing this, it's because I've just been focusing on the editing aspect of things. So now that that's all pretty well caught up, I'm going to start the schedule. So I'm looking to stream this weekend and next weekend and next weekend and try and get with a schedule where I can do the stream, process the footage, and something that I can actually manage and stick to. So that's kind of what I've been up to. But yeah, you got work in 5, so thanks for hopping in, bro. Good to see you, man. But that's what I've been doing, because you're curious. And yeah, I was about to crank a workout here. Nothing major, as I outlined earlier when I was talking. It's just, you know, for reasons, and I was going into. But I was about halfway into the reasons why, because you know it is going to be like on YouTube and stuff like that. So, where was I? I think I was talking about PEDs. Yeah, so if you don't know what a PED is, it's a physical enhancement drug, PED, and anything in that category. And all I'm saying is, that's definitely not what we're doing here, of course. I mean, do I look like I use PEDs, bro? Like, I mean, come on, like I'm alright, but I'm not like super buff jacked or anything, but yeah. But again, like, hey, if like I know there's a lot of people that use them and they needed them for things, and I wasn't gonna get into a huge laundry list of why PEDs aren't good, but I can just make one connotation, which is, okay, yeah, it increases your muscle mass. Everybody knows that. But there's problems. Everybody knows that too. Well, what's an example of a problem? Well, you know, your biceps are a muscle. You know, big chest, shoulders is all everybody knows. You know, abs, like everybody knows, like the muscles are all over the body, and those are the ones they want to get big and strong and look big and buff. But the problem is there's other things that are muscles too that are underneath. Like, for example, your heart is a muscle. Now, do you want the PEDs to be increasing the size of your heart? Probably not, right? And you kind of see that a lot with the heart problems and et cetera, et cetera. And there's obviously a huge laundry list of things. But, anyways, the whole point is we know that there's a lot of fitness, like the fitness industry is gargantuan. It's huge, it's massive. And you type in, I want to get fit, and you're going to come up with a million different strategies and articles and people and influencers and lists and documents and equipment and machines and gimmicks and trinkets that are all going to claim that they're all going to do and make you look like the super jacked man on the magazine or whatever. But like I said, we all in the back of our minds, we're all thinking, well, did that guy really do that to get to that? Like, did he use that? Did he use that little like ab electronic thing to get like the huge freaking biceps? And like the guy, it's like, yeah, he's got a six pack, but he's also got like huge legs, huge chest, huge arms, huge shoulders, and it's like, well, I don't think that little like contraction machine did all the rest of that, dude. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. And then it's like, okay, well, if they did the thing that they're claiming, and that's what I was saying, if they did the thing that they are claiming and they did do that, were they on PEDs? Because you could just take PEDs and you would become infinitely more jacked just sitting on your couch. Okay, it wouldn't be as effective if you're sitting on your couch, but it would make you more jacked just doing that. Like, it just makes you, it puts more testosterone in you and just more muscle. I mean, why do you think, like, when you look at a horse, like, if you've ever been up close to a horse, they're huge. They're huge and they've got massive muscle, or like a chimpanzee or something. Like, when you take testosterone, it just, like, increases your muscles just by default. Now, of course, working out and all that would accentuate that, but again, we're looking at all the things that are out there that are available to us and the strategies and whatnot, and we're thinking, okay, well, is this guy legit, essentially? Or is this girl legit, or whatever, what have you? And the problem is none of them are going to give you a straight answer. Very rarely you're going to get a creator or an influencer who's going to be open and honest about their PED use. But most of them, even if they are on PEDs, they're not going to say anything about it. They're going to say, like, nothing about it. They're going to say, I'm natural, bro. I'm natty, bro. So it's really hard to tell because, they're going to tell you what to do and sell you their product, but they're not going to give you a list of their blood work, of course. I mean, so you just kind of have to take them at their word. And, there's a lot of super jacked people that are natural, but what I would like to see is, so if we look up natural bodybuilding competition, and I'm just going to do like a quick look here, but so let's see. Natural bodybuilding. Okay, this is just the first image, top left. So you look at the bodies in this image. Let's see if I can blow this up a bit, actually. Hold on. Let's see. Can I make this bigger? Is it in this article even? I mean, you're going to get like a million of this, get bigger, get this, get that. Okay, here we go. I mean, look at these guys here. I mean, they're big. They're definitely in massively good shape, but like they're not like not like Arnold, like they're not. And but a thing you have to keep in mind is that like these people, these are the ones that spend, like, these are the top 0.001%. These are like the people that are like of the top world champions. These are the people that are literally put their entire focus into becoming world champions. So it's not like these people just accidentally like, oops, I lifted a weight and now I look like this. Like these people are like, this is their career. Like this is what they do. This is what they do. They do nothing else. They're not off in some movie shooting some film or on the side or this or that. They're just sole focus is like, okay, 0.0001% essentially. So like all I'm saying is, if you see an actor or something and that actor looks more jacked than these guys, and he's like full-time acting and he's got like more muscle mass than like the top 0.0001% of natural world champions, then there's something a little sus there, right? So that's all I'm saying. So we're not about that here. But what we are about is, okay, it's easy for all these million different influencers and all them and blah 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 articles and whatnot, millions of options. You choose, you want a workout routine, and you're gonna have 1,000 just in like in your first search, you're gonna have a million different options of people wanting to sell you their routine to look like them. Are they legit or not? I don't know. But again, everybody knows how to get a better body. You lift weights, you eat well, and you get a better body. That's how it works. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. And but the thing is when you look around, how many people are doing it? Everybody knows, you could ask anyone, if you want to look, do you want to have less fat and more muscle? Pretty much everyone is going to universally say yes, probably, because who doesn't want to be leaner and more muscle mass, or just be leaner and be leaner, etc., etc. But out of all, how many of those people are actually doing something about it? And the answer is not a lot, right? Not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people doing it, but as a whole, when you look around, most people aren't really doing much in that regard. And that's okay. That's fine. You don't have to get into fitness or anything like that. But the point is everybody knows, and everybody, if they could just take a pill to look better with their body, everyone would take it. If it was as simple as just taking a daily pill, then probably everyone would do it. If there was no side effects and it was cheap and there was no downsides, and and it wasn't a PED and it was just a pill a day, like a multivitamin that just makes you look super lean and jacked, then probably everyone would do it. But the thing is it's kind of not easy, right? And therein lies the value of having a better body, is it's not easy. If it was easy, then it wouldn't really have much value associated with it, because it'd be the standard. So where I'm getting with this is, when you're talking about everybody, whether they care or not, etc., doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is everybody knows how to get a better body, but what I would cater to specifically as like a person who plays a gamer or whichever, I would consider myself, a gamer or whatever. I know that gamers, they're kind of hurting in this department, right? And of course, us gamers, we spend a lot of time online, so we see everything. We see more than, the average, boomer at the grocery store, right? Like, if we're a gamer and we're on Twitch and etc., like, we're probably more in tune with, like, internet So we're more like aware of it. So it's like, and gamers aren't exactly the most active people. Now some gamers are, of course. There's always like, but I'd say there's a lot of gamers that aren't too. So, and you'd ask those gamers, okay, hey, gamer that sits on your couch and eats potato chips all day and plays video games. I mean, I've done that. I've done that. So there's no shame in that. I'm just saying, like, if I was to ask that person, hey, gamer that sits on your couch, eats potato chips, would you like to have less fat and more muscle? And probably most of them would say yes. Or if they didn't say yes, they'd at least know how to do it. So everybody knows how to do it, but they still don't do it. Why, right? So that because it's not so easy, right? So when you have a person that looks like this advertise their program to you and they're like, "Yeah, man, just go to the gym 6 days a week." Well, especially like for a gamer, it's like, bro, like, sure, okay, I know I could go to the gym 6 days a week and I could look like that and then cut out all the junk food and this and that and then maybe I will look like that probably or somewhere close to it or way better than I look right now. Everybody knows that, but it's a lot of work, dude. And especially when you're coming from the element of a gamer where it's like, bro, like a gamer is like, I'd rather just sit at home and play my favorite game or whatever and just chill out and whatever. So like in that kind of sense, it's almost bad advice. Like, so I'm trying to give like different advice because it's easy to tell someone, yeah, man, you just go to the gym 5 days a week, 6 days a week. But how many people are actually going to go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week, man? Like, not everyone is going to do that. And not everyone does do that. In fact, most people don't do that. So, what I want to do is like, okay, I want to break it down into a way where you don't have to do it like that to get somewhat decent results. Like something more manageable, but at the same time also have realistic expectations because, most people, this is like genetic potential here. Like these people, this is natural bodybuilding, which means they don't use PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. So like look at this guy on the left here, right? Let me move my camera here. Like this guy here, like he's pretty thin, man. Like he's obviously sculpted. He looks really good, this guy on the left here. But like he's not like huge. Like if he was to put a shirt on, he'd look like he's certainly like athletic as hell because he is. He's a world champion. But like in today's day and age, does he strike you as like the kind of guy that he's like the biggest guy you've ever seen? No. Why? Because of the way our culture's gone. What are we doing right now? We're getting ready to do a workout. So I'm just doing my little explanation of what we're going because it's going to go on YouTube. But basically, yeah, like I want to break it down into like a way where it's so easy that even the gamer who like loves to play games all day doesn't go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week because he ain't got time for that. But we're doing something where it's like, okay, well, you can do it at home, and that's what a gamer likes, bro. Like a gamer, like sure, you can tell a gamer all day long, go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week, man. You look like this or something close to it, bro. Okay, well, what good is that advice if most people aren't doing it? Everybody knows that if you do that, you'll look better, but nobody's doing it. You know, like it's a lot, dude. I used to go to the gym in my early 20s like religiously. And it's a lot, dude. Like you don't have to shower, but normally like you want to like shower, look fresh before you go to the gym, but not always, but either way, you're either going to the gym from home or you're going there from work. And either way, you're probably looking like minimum like 20 minutes of like driving, roughly, we'll say. So you got to spend 20 minutes to drive there. Maybe like 10, 15 minutes to get ready. Like if you're at home, then okay, I got to pack my bag. I got to get my snack. I got to like mentally think about it. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get dressed. I got to put my shoes on. And each of these things takes time. And it's like by the time you like plan you're going to leave your house, it takes like anywhere from like 15, 20 minutes. You got your shoes on. Like by the time you're like, I'm going to go to the gym, and then you're out the door, like in your vehicle, like that probably takes like 15, 20 minutes. And then probably like another 15, 20 minutes to get to the gym. And then you get to the gym and you got to like do your card, you gotta like sign in, you gotta go to the locker room, and then you gotta like wait for other people to take your turn at the machine. It's like, and then you know you do your workout, blah 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 blah. Then you go back to the change room, go to your locker, get your bag, bro. By the time this is all said and done, like we're talking like anywhere from like an hour and a half to like 2.5 hours. Like by the time you're on the couch at home and you're like, I'm gonna go to the gym. And by the time you're back on the couch, it's like 2 or 3 hours later. And not a lot of people have time for that. It's like 5 or 6 days a week, bro. Like people get motivated for it. Um, it's really funny because um, I remember when I was 19 and the first like New Year's came. So when I was 19, I signed up for a gym in the small town I grew up in. I think it was called Fitness West. So I went to Fitness West, and let's see, bro. I want to see if they're still around. Let's see. Are they still a thing? Let's see. See if these boys are still around. Well, anyways, is this place. I don't know if this is. I think they might have moved locations. Anyways, it's not gonna look anything that I remember because I went there so long ago. Like I said, 19. But anyways, I was like, 19, bro, and I went to. Can I make this bigger? Oh yeah, perfect. And I went to like a place that looks like this. And I think I started in the summer. And oh my god, so I was like cranking all the way like through to the end of December. Bro, as soon as January 1st like and January 2nd hit, oh my god, dude. I went from like chilling in this gym from since the summertime. We're chilling, you know, like July, August, September, October, November, December. Everything's fine, you know. We're chilling. As soon as like January 1st rolled around, I go to the gym. Dude, there's legit like 6 times as many people. The whole gym is just like a food fair. There's just people everywhere because everyone's there for their New Year's resolution, right? I was just like, I mean, I got it immediately. Like I understood immediately, and it sucked because like there's just so many people, and it was hard to like get what I would normally. It took longer to do what I would normally do because there's more people using the machines and weights and whatnot. But the funny thing is no joke, like a week later, I'd say of all the extra people that came, like half of them were gone after a week. And then another like 2 weeks later, they were all gone. Every single one of them. Okay, there might have been like a few people that like stuck around, but like 98% of all the new people that came after January 1st were gone within 2 weeks. So, I mean, we all kind of could have guessed that would happen, and everybody comes in with their New Year's resolutions, and but that's a problem when you run on. If you're running solely on motivation, that's where the problem there comes, because the problem with motivation is motivation eventually runs out, even in the best of us with the best of intentions. You know, you're super motivated to do the thing. It could be anything, it doesn't have to be going to the gym. But we'll just say you could be super motivated to go to the gym, like the New Year's resolutions people. And they're super motivated. They've got a lot of spunk in them. They're like, it's a new year. I feel fresh. My brain is ready. I'm filled with motivation. And they use that motivation and they go to the gym and they start and they do their thing, and it's difficult. And then as soon as the motivation runs dry, they're gone. They're gone. So you can't, when you get into something, you can't operate strictly on motivation. You have to make it a habit. You have to like turn it into a habit. You have to go even when you don't feel like going. So you need to like stick it out a bit longer to make it a habit, and then you have to run it on being a habit, and then you're going to have your high points and your low points. But don't ever just run solely on motivation, because as soon as the motivation runs out, you're going to be part of the 98% that are gone in 2 weeks. And that's most people. That 98% is a lot of people, man. That's most people. That's most people. So if you don't want to be most people, then then you got to be part of the 2% that sticks it out, and it's not going to be as fun, but you're going to see better results, I guess, with whatever you want, not even just workout stuff. But anyways, so yeah, my whole premise is, if I can make even one person turn their life around in any way, fitness of course, but in any way, that's a W for me, man. That's a W for me. That's what I would love to hear. So yeah, I have to come at it like, bro, I'm a gamer. Sure, I've been to the gym and I cranked the gym and I went hard at the gym longer than most. I would stick it out for 6, 8 months, whatever, at a time. Um, but I've always been like slender my whole life, so it was really difficult for me to put on mass. Um, but I kind of worked pretty hard on that since last October, because I've always been like, I'm like 6 foot tall, so it's like I've mostly been, when I was through high school, I was 145 pounds through most of high school. And I mean, you can imagine me now. Right now, I am 194 pounds. So imagine me right now, 194. So take like 50 pounds off me, bro. Like, where's that 50 coming from? Like, I'm not exactly like, I'm not fat. I'm not like super thin, but I don't look like I'm some giga jacked like movie actor, right? But I'm 194 pounds, bro. 2.5 months ago, I was 205. Um, so yeah, that's what I was trying to get into, is the fitness industry has also kind of warped our sense of what a good body is even supposed to look like naturally. Because a lot of them are, of course, not natural. Or they're claim they're natty when they're not, or they're like right on the edge of like using things but like not using a lot of things, and they're like, you know, in any case, when you're full natural, it's a bit more difficult, but you don't get the side effects and all the negative things. So that's a good effect. You get all the upside and none of the downside, other than sweat and work. But in any case, I'm trying to like temper expectation. I'm trying to like give you me as a framework, because I want to say people have expectation of like, oh, I need to look like, you know, that super jacked world champion. And you can if you want to put the work in for that, but um you know, if you're trying to become that, then you shouldn't be watching me, because you need more advanced advice than that. Like, I'm more aiming towards like, okay, I've done some hardcore working out in the gym, um, but I'm coming at it more of the framework of like, I wanna be able to get to a point where I can look good and show you the process, um, but temper the expectation, because we're not using PEDs and we're not going for world champion status. We're going for, hey, I'm a gamer, bro. I want to be able to do something simple, easy at home that I know other people can do without spending a mass fortune on this and that and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, what kind of advice is it for me to say, go to the gym 5 days a week? Like I said, everybody knows that if you go to the gym 5 days a week, you're going to look better. But how many people are willing to do, even though people know that that will do that, they still don't go, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work, especially when you're doing all that stuff I mentioned earlier, where you're driving to the gym, blah, 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 blah. 2-3 hours later, you're done. Now try doing that for 2 weeks. Sure. Like the New Year's resolution people, the 98%. Try doing that for 2 weeks. Okay. They do it for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they gone. They're not doing 2 or 3 hours of work 5 days a week for longer than 2 weeks. As soon as the motivation runs out, gone. Gone, bruh. That's it. But so I'm trying to do something where, okay, we're gonna do it at home. We're gonna do it at home. We're not gonna go spend all this time going to the gym, you know, and I'm not gonna tell you to get a bunch of equipment that's, you know, oh yeah, just go get an Olympic bar and go get a squat rack, bro. Go get a bench rack. And then store it where? I don't know, man. You know, but again, that would be like something a really like giga jacked like fitness influencer would say. He'd be like, yeah, man, go to the gym, go to the squat rack, go to the bench rack, get the Olympic bar, do the deadlift, do the like, again, we get it. We get it. That works. It works. But it doesn't work if you don't do it. And most of us are not gonna do that. So what good is that advice? We know it works, but yet we still don't do it. I mean, I've done it, but I'm just saying most people are not gonna do that. Some of you will do that, but most of you will not do that. And if you do it, you're not gonna do it for very long. Most of you. Some are the exception, right? It's like when I went out for groceries last. I probably seen like, I don't know, like 300-400 people while I went to 2 different grocery stores. And out of those 300-400 people, I seen one person that was like visibly like jacked with big arms. One. But yeah, it's like, dude, we know that's gonna work going to the gym 5 days a week. But again, if you're not gonna do it, what good is that advice? It's we know it, but we don't do it. So therefore, Like, if you're not going to apply it, then what's the use? So I don't want to give advice where that's the case. I don't want to do things where that's the case. Because that's been dead and done a million times, and if you want to find that, you'll find that. But it's not applicable to most people because most people aren't willing to do that. And if they are, they're not going to do it for very long. And it's only the very few that are willing to pass all those hurdles and excel beyond that. And of course, people do that. I'm sure some people watching this are doing that. But like, you got to take into account, for every one of you that's willing to do all that and go above and beyond, there's 100 or more people that aren't. So it's not saying that it doesn't work or it's not possible. I'm just saying that for most people, they're not willing to go that far. And I'm not saying you have to or anything like that. You know, your goals are your own goals. Be happy with whatever you're at. You know, if you just want to slim down, lose fat, and be slim and whatever, and that's all you want. I know a lot of people that like that. That's fine too. You don't need to look like Adonis, bro. Especially like in today's day and age. The problem is a lot of people that look like Adonis, which is a Roman or a Greek god, one of the two, or it's just your classic, like, we'll say, you know, if you want to look like Zeus, you know, a sculpture of Zeus, a Greek god, like, the problem is a lot of people look like that in today's day and age didn't get there naturally. Sure, some did. A lot didn't, and they're not gonna be honest about it. It is what it is. We all know this. So yeah, I'm going to keep it tempered to natural. Watch me every week if you like. Work out with me. Stay motivated, but make it more of a habit rather than just strictly motivation, because as we went over, motivation does not strictly work. So yeah, I'm not going to use equipment that's complicated that you couldn't just get at home, and isn't crazy. Like, I'm not going to tell you to go get like any of the stuff in this picture, for example. Let's see, because they got benches and machines, and I mean, okay, if we want to take out going to the gym, all this is off the table. All of this down here is off the table. If we're not going to the gym, because again, I can say, "We'll just go to the gym, man," or just go to the gym, man. Well, people already aren't going to the gym, so we're not going to operate on equipment that you'd have to go to the gym for, because they're not going to the gym. And even when you tell them to go to the gym, they're still not going, and they're never going to go to the gym. Or if they do, it's not going to be for very long. So scratch all that down there. Scratch all that. So what we're going to do is keep it to stuff that we could use at home. And you don't have to go to the gym and spend all that time, and you can get it done in a fraction of the time and get whatever results you're looking for. Exercise is part of it. It's probably 40% exercise, 40% diet, 20% sleep. And I know a lot of people got sleep problems, and I know diet, that's a huge one. And, you know, I'll be releasing some stuff, hopefully, that can give some ideas, because I'm a gamer, bro. My diet is locked in for maximum grinding, mob farming efficiency. Like, you know, if you're in an MMORPG, and you start here, and then you grind, like, you kill a mob here, you kill a mob here, and you kill a mob here, and you kind of, like, try and make, like, a circle, and then by the time you get here, you're sitting there and you're waiting, and the mobs that you're farming haven't respawned yet, so then the next time you do the circle, instead of going, like, you know, killing the mob here, and then cutting, you're like, well, I had to wait for a respawn, so I'm going to add in this mob over here, this mob over here, and this mob over here, and then I'm going to make my way over here. And then by the time you get there, it's like, oh, I only had to wait like 20 seconds this time, and then the thing respawned? Okay, so then you do the loop again, and then you add in like one more mob, and then, you know, you slowly create like maximum gamer efficiency. And that's what I'm about here. Like, I'm about eating stuff that's easy to store, quick to cook, exercises that are easy to do. You don't need a lot of equipment, not a lot of setup. You just crank it, crank it, crank it. That's what I'm about. And I think that's more advice that people could get on board with is stuff that's quick and easy, and not even just quick and easy, but more just like it's gamified into like maximum efficiency. We're being maximally efficient with our time and with what we buy and whatever whatnot. And I'll come out with like other stuff related to like diet and show like what I do. And I'm not saying what I do is perfect. Like I know that there's a lot of people that go to the gym, like there's a lot of people that go to the gym, and I eat pretty good, but there's people that eat even better and more clean and more tasty and blah 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 blah. But like, are you willing to sit there and cook for an extra hour? I mean, we're talking to gamers, bro. Gamers like, I know how to cook, bro. I put ramen noodles in the microwave. I put canned stuff in a bowl and put it in the microwave. I cook me some chili. Like this is, I know that like this is a lot of the people that I'd be talking to. So it's like it's the same thing with like going to the gym. Like, am I gonna tell you a recipe where like, yeah, bro, just sit here and let it simmer for 20 minutes and this and fry this and do that and then sprinkle a little bit of this on and let that sit and simmer for another 15. Bro, ramen noodle microwave 2 minutes. That's what we know. That's what we know. So that's how I'm gonna operate. Is people that are on a crunch schedule, bro. They ain't got time for that. Like, put it in the microwave or whatever. Put it in the pan. Let it cook itself. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, let's get her started. We're not doing a crazy workout today. Like I said, I'm operating off kind of an injury, a long time injury, to be honest. I guess I could go briefly over it because it could almost be anything to get you going, bro. Anything to get you going to whatever goals you want. If you don't have any fitness goals and you're happy with where you're at, well, hey man, you're probably doing something. So, do a little workout. Maybe you learn something. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, so I feel like I should touch on this because I know a lot of people have issues, physical issues, mental issues, and I'm not going to belittle or say your issues don't serve credence or you have it worse than me or I have it better or worse than each other, etc., etc. I'm not going to claim that. I'm not going to say I'm worse than you, blah, blah, blah. I know people got some serious problems. We only do what we do. And, you don't have, like, becoming a Greek god does not have to be, you don't have to become a Greek god for success. Like, if it's just losing 10 pounds, anything, man, like, whatever the goals are, if you want to be bigger, whatever the goals are. Like that's good too. Anything. Whatever you want. Weight loss, muscle gain, just weight loss, just muscle gain, both, less fat, more muscle, which a lot of people I'm sure want. Everybody probably wants less muscle, more fat. I mean, less fat, more muscle, bro. I'm sure a lot of people are out here getting less muscle, more fat. But we want the opposite of that. That part's easy. Less muscle, more fat. Now that's easy. If you want to get fat, you can do that. That's actually pretty easy to do. We can do that real easy, but that's not what we're aiming for. But anyways, I'm just gonna say real quick. I've been on Canadian disability. I injured my neck really badly. Of course, it's doing a lot better now than it was 7 years ago. Probably 8 years ago now. Yeah, about 8 years ago now for me. So about 8 years ago, I was bedridden 2 years. Pain was so bad, I was lying down for a year straight looking at the ceiling, couldn't move. My neck was just completely 10 levels of disabled pain. And there's a lot of things I can't do. Like I can't sleep on a bed flat. Like I can't sleep flat. I have to like sleep on my side with like pillows and like whatever whatnot because I just get massive like pressure in the back of my cervical there. I can't sit for too long. Kind of why I have a standing desk. Because the back of your neck here. So just imagine like here, right? It's like a diamond down to here. It's like a here, and then it comes in as like a diamond shape. So the top here is like this, and then once it gets to about here, it comes back in with your traps, which is like this, your back here. So you got this like diamond in the back here. So when I sit down, I don't know what it does, but it just does something, I guess, with my back muscles that like reduces their effectiveness, and it really strains my neck when I sit. So I try and stand as much as I can. I injured my low back. It was sore for years after a deadlifting accident. I've had sore forearms, elbows, knees. I've experienced it all, and I know, like, especially the low back, how disabling a low back injury can be. I remember limping to the mailbox. The low back pain was so bad. So I'm not going to say, like, whatever problems you're having, or maybe you have no problems. Bro, if you have no problems, then I am saying a little bit, maybe you should do a little bit of something. Because then now you don't even have an excuse. If you have an excuse, I guess that's okay. Because I know that there's some injuries that really, really do prevent. But I'm just saying, like, I can't even sleep properly, dude. I know I look, like, decent, but it's not 100% back there, I'll tell you that. Like, and the cervical is a very complicated area. It gets really painful, shuts me down if it gets bad. But I still crank. And I've tried it all. I've done chiropractor, massage therapist, physiotherapist, injections like stem cells and PRP and dextrose, and like I've done it all, bro. I've MRI scans, multiple, bro. I've been through the ringer, bro. X-rays, CT scans. I've seen specialists, neurologists, bro. I've been through the works, man. So I know. If you've got problems, I feel for you, man. And I hope that we can get you, or you can get yourself, whatever goals you want. Whatever it is, any goal is fine. You don't have to be out here looking like Adonis. If you just want to lose a little bit of weight, you want to just gain a little bit of muscle, either or, anything's fine. Don't let anybody tell you. What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy, right? Obviously, I'm not the most jacked dude, but I got up to 207 pounds, and I'm 6 foot. You'd probably say like, and I'm not like, I'm right now I'm 194, and like 194 pounds, do I look like a fat blob? Kind of not, right? So like, I know I've got thick legs though, so that might be where a bit more of the weight's coming in, the thick leg boys. us lucky few with naturally thicker legs. But yeah, I guess we'll get started. I just wanted to say that little snippet real quick in as well, because I'm just saying, I know if you've got issues, whatever, you can maybe hopefully do something. I know that there's certain levels where it's too much and you just can't, and of course don't push yourself to hurt yourself. It's not worth it. If your body is saying no, don't force it. But what I will say is, if you're feeling all right, or you can get by with doing it, I will tell you a few things. As soon as I started working out, even for 6 months, just dedicated of just like routinely lifting every week and eating just a somewhat clean diet with plenty of protein, nothing complicated. Everybody knows this. work out, eat protein, pretty basic. Doing that for 6 months, I will tell you, my knees feel better. My low back feels better. I remember there's things I do where I'd bend over or this or that or and my back would just like it'd like tweak. You know, everybody's had that. Bro, my back feels like it's like bionic like Terminator right now compared to what it was before I started working out. The knees feel way better. The knees feel so good. Like I can to the point where I'm like literally like I don't even bend. I just squat to like pick something up now, and it feels good. Like it feels damn good. No pain. Everything's feeling more good, more stable. The main one's the low back, bro. Like the low back is feeling like solid. Like it feels solid. And of course it could become more solid, you know. I'm not Adonis or anything, but like we're feeling more stability because you know the low back. I know a lot of people, especially me. I've probably injured my low back like dozens of times, to varying degrees. And the thing with the low back is it's really weak here because we sit so much, and then if you're the low back gets strengthened when you have stronger core muscles. So when you have stronger core, when you have stronger like glutes, right? When you have all the muscles like around the low back get stronger, that also makes the low back is like this, right? Like if you were to little like pinpoint like the low back's like this, it's like that small. So you need like once all the muscles like around it like get more better, then the low back becomes much more stable and less prone to injury. And it's pretty much like that for a lot of things, like the knees. But take it slow. Don't do it too much. Don't do too much because I've experienced all sorts of injury by doing too much. You know, I've had forearm pain, like deep-setted forearm pain inside like the bone. I've had shin splints, low back, like did something terrible with a deadlift, shut me down for years. So what I've been doing is generally I've been doing 3 sets, upwards of 20. And as soon as I can do 3 sets of 20, then I increase the weight. And people are going to give you all sorts of, bro, man, you got to do 8 reps, you got to do 10 reps, you got to do 12 reps, you can do 20 reps. Like, there's just, you got to do 2 reps. You got to do your 1 RM, bro, your 1 rep max. Dude, this is how you hurt yourself, man. There's no rush, bro. So I keep it. I aim for 3 sets of 20. Not that I do 3 sets of 20 and I have to do 20. I'm saying I do 3 sets of 20, like up to 20. And as soon as I can do all 3 sets at 20 pounds, as soon as I can do all 3 sets at 20 reps for each set, so all 3 sets are 20 or above, then I increase the weight. And then it probably goes down to whatever it goes down to. It doesn't matter. I just, as soon as 20, 20, 20, all 3 sets, I increase the weight. And what I like about, and I've done all sorts of research. I've done all the research on it, boys, where I'm looking at it. And I'm not saying I know all the answers, but I know enough to know that it sounds like it just doesn't really matter. And it's better to do something than nothing, and it's even better to not get injured, which will happen if you're pushing too much weight. And you're also not going to lift it correctly. That's a problem. I mean, some people will. Some people are experienced enough to know, but if you're lifting huge weight and you're not even lifting it correctly, it's a recipe for disaster. So that's why I like to keep it higher rep. higher on the reps because it's safer. It's much safer. Because injuries, whatever extra results, I'm just going to say, whatever extra results you think you're going to get from doing less reps, the moment you get injured, well, what are you doing then? If you get injured, it all comes to a complete stop. It all comes to a complete stop if you get injured. It's like, what's that old child's tale we heard? The rabbit versus the turtle versus the hare. Where in the end, the turtle ends up winning the race because the rabbit, like, scoffed at the turtle, or whatever. I'm not saying that's the case here. All I'm saying is, if you think that, like, oh, you have to do it a certain way because you're going to get slightly better results or better results comparatively. One, I've read things that shown that's not really the case, and two, is it going to be any? Even if it was, is it going to be faster if you injure yourself? Because if you injure yourself, depending on the injury, if you like, my elbow's not really feeling that good, like not like a muscle pain, you can feel like you did something. Then it's like, okay, bro, well, see you at, like, guess you're not working out for a month, like. So who's gonna be faster, bro? The guy who cranks too much and gets injured and stops, or the person who plays it safe and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going? Food for thought, anyway. Okay, so we're gonna start with. We're gonna get going here, and I hate this one. This one's rough, boys. Whew. Farmer squat. Okay, so you can see here, and that triple rep is about to be knocked off. April, June, July, so I've been real taking it. Like I said, I hurt myself with my neck. Nothing to do with exercising, funnily enough. I slept on it. I fell asleep in a really terrible position where I actually didn't mean to fall asleep, and it like super cranked my neck and really made it really, really sore because I have a previous neck injury. So actually was not at all related to working out. In fact, working out probably saved me from it becoming much worse than it was. But we're feeling a lot better. But we're still going to keep it to one set, so it's going to be quick and easy because we're cutting. And I'm still not like 100% with the neck. So just keep it one set. While cutting, simple, easy. Okay, so we're pulling 35s. Okay, one last thing I'm going to say is, before we get started, is the equipment I'm using. So as far as equipment, all we're using, because I'm not going to tell you again, I'm not going to tell you go get an Olympic bar, bro. Go get a squat rack, bro. Go get this and that. And then you got to get the Olympic bar, and then you got to get all the weights that go with it, and then where do those go? You got to store them, you got to get clamps and blah, blah, everything, blah, blah, blah. So, very simple. I think I only have, I'm going to say, 2 items. There's only 2 items you need. I have 4 items. But none of them are crazy. This is item number 1. Just a ball. You've seen these exercise balls. You can get them at Walmart or anything that's like a Walmart. I think this one cost me like, I'm in Canada, so I'm going to say it cost me like less than $20. So in American, that's like what, like $15 or less. So these are cheap and easy, and these are good for doing certain exercises, which we'll get into. So it's like a $15 ball. Um, this is the other major. Well, I'm not gonna say major. This is a minor thing, and you don't even need this. But this is an ab roll wheel, and it's about the same as the ball. It's like $15 or less. Now you don't need this. It is beneficial to have it because it makes the exercise a lot better. The ab roll is probably like one of the best ab exercises because you get the full contraction in both directions. It's like the ab roll is way better than a plank because when you're planking, you're just holding that one static position, whereas when you're doing the ab rollout, you're getting that full range of motion, full contraction. So it's much superior. So this makes it really nice and more easier to manage, the ab rollout wheel. But you can also not have this because this thing's only like $15. You can not have this and you can just use the free weights. And I'm going to show you the free weights. The free weights are the main thing. You kind of have to have free weights. That's the critical one. Now, I'm just going to show you one now. I'd say most people could start with a free weight that's in like the 15 to 20 pound range. Now, I have adjustable ones because you can see it kind of looks a bit unique, right? So you can see the numbers on the side. So when it's on the rack, you turn the dial here, and depending on what the dial is set to, that's how much weight it pulls off the rack. So these adjustable ones are actually really nice because they take up like no room. Like you can see the rack is here. This is the rack. So it's literally just two racks, like one weight, two weights. So it takes up like that much room, bro. And that's pretty much the only real main thing you need. You don't even really need anything else. You just need the free weights, and you can just go and get like 20-pound free weights, 15-pound free weights, wherever you think a good starting point for you is, 10 pounds, whatever. The problem if you don't get the adjustable ones is if you want to increase or lower the weight, you have to buy another set of them, right? That's why the adjustable ones I like, because the adjustable ones, they take up less room. They only take up the position of two, maybe like because the stands are a little bit thicker. They take up the space of like maybe 3 total free weights, and then you have access from all the way from 5 pounds. Let me do it on this side. All the way from 5 to 52.5 pounds, all in one, with one little rack. So these are really nice, and you can do everything with free weights. You don't need an Olympic bar. Again, am I gonna say like, oh, free weights are better than an Olympic bar? Well, they can be, actually. But am I gonna say like the Olympic bar doesn't have its place, and the Olympic bar is the really big bar that people usually like bench and squat and deadlift and stuff with? That's an Olympic bar, and then they put the weights on the sides. Now, does that have its place? Absolutely. But are the 98% of people that we're talking about that aren't doing that gonna go buy? Are you gonna go out and buy an Olympic bar, man? Are you gonna go out and buy an Olympic bar and buy a bench to use it on and then get the weights that go with it? You could, but are you going to? And the answer for most people is no. The answer is no. So what good is it if I give you the advice to say, yeah, just go get an Olympic bar? Most people aren't going to get an Olympic bar. So that's why we're working with free weights, because this is manageable for most people. This is something the 98% can get behind. Olympic bar, not so much. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying if your alternative is I'm gonna get either get an Olympic bar or do nothing, well, I'd rather you not get the Olympic bar, get the free weights, and do something rather than not get an Olympic bar and do nothing. The Olympic bar is more investment, and it's just there's more involved with it, and most people don't even have the room for it. Like, it takes up a lot more room, especially if you're getting the bench associated with it. Some people will, and absolutely you can use, like, if you follow along, you can use your Olympic bar, no problem. I'm just saying, most people aren't going to get an Olympic bar, and I don't expect you to, and I'm not going to use one, not because I don't think it has its place and it's not good. I think it is good, but I'm not going to use it because most people aren't going to get it. So it doesn't help for me to get one because then I'm showing you how to do something on an Olympic bar, and most of you aren't going to have an Olympic bar, and most of you aren't willing to go get an Olympic bar. Therefore, me having an Olympic bar, not so good for you. Free weights, that's different. These are good. Do not be expecting me to pull out 20 reps though, because we are rusty. We are even leaner than before. I fully expect to not do to do 20 reps, but we'll do what we can. We're gonna go to failure. We're gonna start with the squats. So, actually, I'm going to give you a minute. Now, if you want to do these, you can do the squats. You do not need the weights. In fact, if you're just starting out, I would recommend you do not use weight because just doing body weight squats is going to wipe you out. And I would probably not do more than one set either. If you're just starting ground zero and you want to like, hey man, I'm watching this dude do some squats, therefore I'm going to do some squats. If you haven't done them in a long time or you've never done them, you should probably only do one. I'm only doing one set just because of reasons I said, and I'm cutting right now. When my neck feels better, absolutely I'd be doing multiple sets, but because my neck is kind of hurting a little bit, and I'm cutting calorie deficit, I'm going to just be doing one set. But I would also recommend you just do one set if you're just starting out. Otherwise, like 1 or 2 days later, you're not even going to be able to walk. You're going to walk funny. It's going to be so sore. So, but you can do it body weight. So all we're doing, if you're doing it body weight, now I am not like the sculpture of perfect form, but I can pretty much tell you what to do, which is basically, you're basically going to go down. Arms, I guess we could do, doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm using the weights here like on the side, but there's also the goblet squat that puts your hands here. So I guess you could put your hands here if you want, or wherever, you can put your hands wherever you want. The main thing is we're going about shoulder width legs. Feet. Now people say keep your feet straight. I keep them like angled outwards just a tiny bit. Just a very teeny tiny bit. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Alright, and then we just go down. Alright, so go down. And then we go up. We go down. And then we go up. Now, you have two choices when you go down. Before you come back up, You can either, there's two ways you can actually do this. You can just, why is my camera blinking? You don't like that? Okay, hold on, boys. My camera likes to respond to hand gestures, and I thought I'd turn that off. I want to make sure it's not doing anything it shouldn't dare be doing with the peace sign. Make sure it's not like shutting off or anything. Okay, so gesture control. Bro, it's like all turned off gesture control. I don't know what it's talking to me for. Looks like it's fine. Okay, so there's two ways you can do it. So when you're down in the squat position, you can either, without any assistance without thinking, I should say, you can just stand right back up. You can just stand right back up. And without thinking about it, that's most likely going to use the quads at the front. Now, if you think about it and you start thinking about your muscles, you can actually do a squat in an entirely different way, which is the way you probably should be doing it, which is when you're down here. Now, I know how it's going to sound, but it's totally different, and you'll feel it different. Especially when you're sore afterwards, you'll feel the difference if you do it one way versus the other way. So now that we're down here, what we're going to do is you try and squeeze your butt cheeks together all the way up. Like from down here, you're like, imagine you're trying to like hold a pencil between your butt cheeks, and you're like squeezing your butt cheeks all the way to the top, and that actually uses an entirely different set of muscles, and those are the ones you probably should be squatting with. So every time you come up, squeeze the cheeks, and you'll be like, you can feel yourself, instead of lifting with the front of your legs, you're lifting with like everything back here included. You're including the back here. If you don't, you're not really as much. Anyways, just trust me on that. You'll figure it out eventually, if you do some trial and error and you want to figure it out for yourself. But trust me when I say, squeeze your cheeks to the top to get the full benefit of the squat. I'm doing it with weights because I've been doing it for a while, but body weight's totally fine. So yeah, if you just want to follow along with body weight squats, that's totally fine. If you've got free weights or there's something you want to carry, you can alternatively, there's something called the goblet squat, where if you're going to do a goblet squat, you're basically going down, doing the same squat, but with something between your hands like this. So if there's an object, any kind of object that you can balance and hold, kind of like this, on your way down, then you could do that too. Or if you've got free weights, just hold the free weights like I'm about to do. Alright. I don't think I'm pulling 20, bro. I don't think I'm pulling 20 reps, boys. But we'll see what happens. Okay, these are 35s, so they're kind of heavy. Unless you're a naturally big dude, or whatever, or you've been doing this for a while, 35s, you're not going to be handling 35s, I'll tell you that. Alright. But you might be someday. Alright. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, we'll stop there. So squats are definitely going to take a lot out of you. Because they pretty much use your full body. Systemic fatigue, etc., etc. Damn, 21, bro. Damn. Oof. What's this? Here we go, 21. Whew. Not to mention just holding 35-pound free weights. Yeah, even the fingers are tired. So all we're doing right now, we're just chilling. Now's the best time in the world to chill. We're just chilling. Now, normally I would do 2 more sets. We're not going to be doing that this week. Maybe next week, depending how we're feeling, we'll do 2 sets. Maybe. Because I feel like I could maybe get away with 2 sets today, but we're not in any rush. Remember, turtle versus the hare. I'd rather be able to keep going rather than sprint and stop or injure myself or what have you. As far as rest period goes, anywhere between 2 minutes to 5 minutes is optimal. 2 minutes is fine. 5 minutes is fine. Anything after that is also fine. But I think if you wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, completely fine. You can wait up to 5 minutes, no problems. If you're waiting upwards of that to like 10 minutes or so, it's not that it's not good. It's from what I've read, like kind of like the acid or whatever, something like starts building up a little bit, and it just makes the next set just a little bit more difficult than it might otherwise. Not by much. You might not even notice, but it might make the set just a teeny tiny bit more difficult or inefficient if you are waiting up to like 10 minutes. But 5 minutes is perfectly great. 5 minutes is perfect. If you can wait 5 minutes, that's actually ideal because it'll make your next set more better. And if you have a more better set, you'll have more better gains. That's how it works. That's why people are so big on creatine and whatnot, because with creatine, you can get like an extra rep or two with creatine, and it's like those extra reps. It's like being able to do that extra volume. That's beneficial. It's not like a deal breaker. It's just beneficial. That's all. It's not like, oh, if you don't do this, you're not going to gain. You're not going to. No, it's small potatoes. It's just slight advantage. Same with resting 5 minutes. It's the same thing. It just allows you to do the next thing with a little bit more vigor, which gets you better results. The only problem with 5 minutes, there is one problem with waiting 5 minutes. The only problem is that it takes 5 minutes instead of like 2 minutes. So it makes your workouts take longer. But if you're willing to take that extra time, it is more beneficial. But I'm thinking in the eyes of like a gamer. Like, I know a gamer, if he does squats to failure, bro, he's gonna be like keeled over, huffing and puffing. He needs the 5 minutes, man. Even I want the 5 minutes. If I'm gonna do like a squat or something super systemically taxing like that, then I like to wait at least 5 minutes between squats or when I finish a squat, because the systemic fatigue from squats is maximal. It's one of the most maximal exercises for systemic fatigue. Whereas like doing like a bicep curl is like nothing in comparison. If you're just doing this versus using your whole body to do a squat, it's a big difference. Extra rest time helps a lot. Okay. I do feel like I could do 2 sets, but again, the turtle and the hare, we're going to play it safe. We're just going to stick with one set. Might do 2 next week, depending how we feel next Thursday. Okay, next exercise shall be bent over rows. Oh god. These ones are also kind of taxing. Now, single arm rows actually feel pretty good, but they take twice as long because it's isometric. So we're gonna do it where it's not isometric. We're gonna do both weights in at the same time, just because we're being quick and efficient. So we're gonna be doing. Oh, how'd I click that one? No, I wanted bent over rows. That's what I want. We're going to be doing bent over rows. It's like the single arm rows, except instead of doing it isometrically, you do them at the same time. All right. This one is not so fun for me. Kind of like cranks my neck a little bit, but we do what we do. 18 reps of this. Oh god. I just know that it's rough on the grip strength. Trying to grip the 35s. It's like your other muscles kind of like get beefier and more better, but these muscles and these muscles are a bit slower to catch up with like the speed of like your chest or your legs. So trying to operate these kind of hold you back a little bit, the forearms and the wrists and the hands. And I know that's a big deal in this one because there's a lot of wrist and forearm and trying to just hold the weight down. All right, bent over rows. So what I like to do is I like to just bend over and start rowing, baby. I make a little robot noise when I crank down. I go, bend the knees a little bit, make sure the back is straightened out, low back, and then start cranking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh. Oh. Damn, bro. Whew. Yep. That one not so easy either. Whew. That one is called bent over rows. As you can see in the title here, bent over rows. If you want to like watch me, or you want to watch like a video for absolute perfect picture, perfect form, they might explain how to do it a bit more accurately than me, because I'm not like a physiotherapist or anything. I did the same thing. I just watched to see how it was done and did my best to replicate it. But like I said, you're just bending over and you're rowing. Simple as that. Now, if you don't have free weights, I suppose you could find some kind of object in each hand. Maybe like a milk jug or something in each hand. I don't know. You could get creative if you wanted. I'm waiting until 5 minutes. If you're on YouTube, you don't have to wait 5 minutes. You can skip ahead. I'm going 5 minutes. Next for me is bench press. Incline bench press, I should say. I'll pull it up when I'm ready. We'll leave it at bent over rows for now. Like my desk setup? I like my desk setup. Nice, easy standing desk, bro. Just walk right up. Ready to crank, just like that. Walk away, just like that. Walk back, just like that. Triple monitor display. You can't quite see it, but monitor over here, monitor over here, monitor in the middle, webcams there. Pretty good. I like to swing this around. My grandfather made me this. Very nice. Very nice. hear that? I don't know. I'm just saying, bro. Like, you can hear that? Now imagine getting hit like that, but like that. Bro, I wouldn't want to get hit by this, even if it is a wooden sword. Whew. All right. Almost there, 20 secs. Sex. Ins, like sex, like S-E-C-S. S-E-C-S. Sex. Sex. Just a sec, bro. Just a sec. Sex. Just a seconds, bro. Alright, 5 minutes. Let's do her up. Incline bench press, baby. Wait, did I wrote down my metrics? I did, okay. Okay, this is probably my favorite exercise. And this is where the ball that I was talking about earlier comes into play. Actually, I should probably get this on the rack first. When the weights start getting that heavy, and you're not like giga jacked forearms, better to play it a bit safer, bending all the way down to pick them up. They're kind of quite heavy. Okay. Now I need to get this just right. All right, now do I want to do this here? Maybe a bit more in this direction. For the camera. Okay, stay there. That's fine. Okay. Incline bench. Slightly different than just a regular bench press. You're adding a bit of incline. And from everything I've seen, the incline is universally better. Now I do, on my normal routine, I do incorporate a little bit of the regular bench press, but because I have free weights, it just makes doing inclines so much easier, especially with the ball. But yeah, you apparently get slightly better results with incline. Bench press is probably my favorite because, you know, everybody wants big chest, whether you're a man or a woman. Big chest for different reasons. All right, now if you want a slight pro tip, get on the ball here, so I just sit down. The slight pro tip, if you want people to think you're in the know at least a little bit, is don't just lift these up, these weights. You want to kick them up with your leg, like kick, kick. It's like a little pro tip because it saves a little bit of your extra energy for doing the bench. Otherwise, it takes a bit more out of you. The small things, bro, the small things. But yeah, whenever you do this, pro tip, makes it easier, makes you look more professional, and it just gets you better results marginally. Just kick the weight up like that before you get into position. Incline, so normal bench would be like here, straight up. Incline, we kind of like dip into it a bit more to get an incline. And then we lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, we're gonna stop there. I can feel the sweat on my forehead, so just take a minute before you get up, because you're gonna be a little winded. So just chill for a sec. Then you get up. Damn, bro, I feel the sweat dripping down the back of my head after that one. Okay, what'd I say, 17? Hey, boys, fall a bit short, but what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. We do what we can do. Don't injure yourself. You've always got more time to do better later. Now I'm cutting right now, which means I'm losing weight. Trying to retain the muscle, of course, but I haven't been working out as much as I should have been, because I injured my neck, tweaked it while I was slept in a wrong position, so I haven't really been doing a lot of lifting. But it's important to be doing something when you can. But yeah, don't judge yourself too harshly on the numbers of today, because I promise you, whatever the number today, a year from now, that number going to be a thing of the past. I mean, let's look at my benching history here. When I started, look where I started, boys. November 1st. I wasn't using 35s, I was using 20s. I was using 20s here, and then I did 20, 15, and 12. Now look. I'm using 35 pounds. 21, 18, and if I went a bit before that, I bet you the numbers would be really good. Yeah, like right here. Look at that. April 10th. 3 sets of 35, 18, 17, 17. So almost doubled the weight. But keep in mind, we're pushing these weights. Like, what are people gonna be like, oh man, you're only benching 35? Well, for one, we've only been working out since November. So, the end of October is like October 27th, but November, December, January, February, March, and then a teeny bit of April, so not even 6 months. Not even 6 months, and we doubled the weight. But you're only lifting 35s, man. Well, initially I was only lifting 20s, man. And now it's you're only lifting 30, you're only benching 35. Well, 5 months before that I was benching 20, but when I'm benching 35, it's a 35 and another 35, so it's 35 in each hand. And it's free weights, which is already more difficult than using an Olympic bar because you have to stabilize the weights with your forearm and your hands and your wrist. And there's a whole lot more going on with the free weight where you have to stabilize it. So naturally, you are always going to bench less with free weights than you will with an Olympic bar, because the Olympic bar takes all that stability stuff out of the equation, and a lot of the times the bar is already set up where all you have to do is just push it, whereas the free weights you kind of have to like get your arms like up into position and then kind of like do it, right? So you're always going to do less with free weights. And it's 35 in each hand. That's 70 pounds. You know, if you could do an extra 40 pounds with the Olympic bar, then essentially you're benching over 100 if you were to bench an Olympic bar. And then not only that, we're also doing close to 20 reps, boys. We're doing 18 reps, 17 reps, 17 reps. You know what I mean? Like, if I was going to do 3 sets there, I probably would have done just a little bit less good than this one here. So I just did 17 reps, so it would have looked more like 17, 16, 15, probably, which is really close to this, considering I've been on a 2.5 month hiatus. Not too bad. Cutting, like I've lost like 13 pounds, so that's pretty good. But yeah, like there's a big difference between lifting 70 pounds 18 times. Well, you only bench 35, bro. Well, I bench 35 in each hand, and I do it 18 times, almost 50 times, 60 times. Meanwhile, the other guy is like, okay, well, you're only doing 35s. Okay, well, you're only doing 70s. Well, if I was to do a true 1 rep maximum, I guarantee you I could lift a whole hell of a lot more than that if I was to only do it once or twice. I'm pushing that weight close to 20 times, so you do the math. You think I could be lifting much more weight than that if I was only going to lift it once or twice. What it is, I don't know, because I don't really believe in doing 1 RMs, 1 rep max, because it's just an ego thing. And again, comparison is the thief of joy. It's just an ego thing, and it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot other than potentially getting you injured. It's solely to stroke the ego. If it gets you, if it sparks you, go for it. I haven't done a single 1 RM this entire time I've been doing this. Maybe like when I get to roughly where I want to be, maybe I'll consider doing a 1 RM just to see. But I have far to go, so it's going to be a while before I'm even going to bother or care enough to want to see what my 1 RM is. Okay. So we did incline bench. Next, I believe, is shoulders, right? Shoulder, yes. Okay. Shoulder press there. 22.5 pounds. Shoulder press, we just raise it above our head and you push. This one's quite basic, quite simple. What I will say though is with this one, do not expect to make great strides in progress. This one's rather slow and difficult to increase the weight on. I crank this one and it doesn't increase as fast as a bench press or like a squat does, for example. This one's really slow to upgrade. So take it for what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll leave it there. Whew. All right, 15. Whew. I mean, normally these numbers would be going up, so don't stress. We're like I said, we're literally losing weight. If I go back and I go over to here, you can see these numbers here, I think. This was April 30th. And even furthermore, this was April 13th. This was April 13th here. 207.8. And now it's July 3rd. July 4th, depending where you're at. Happy July 4th. Happy Canada Day, July 1st. But anyways, 207.8 down to 193.8. Especially when you're on a little bit of hiatus, yeah, you're going to lose the number's more likely to go down than up, but when you're bulking it go up. It could probably even go up. If you're cutting and you're lifting every week, it might even still go up. I wasn't able to because, like I said, I kind of hurt myself. Where's that shoulder press, bro? There it is. Oh, I didn't refresh the timer? That's okay. The shoulder press isn't as demanding. What I am going to do, though, is grab a glass of milk. All right. Might as well show that to the camera, huh? Granville Island, Newcastle, something. Now, diet's a whole other beast. This is what I do. Now, you don't have to do what I do, but this is what I do. And I know a lot of people are lactose intolerant as well. But for those that aren't, this is what I do. I always do this. I always 1-to-1 chocolate milk and whole milk. Super delicious every time. But you know, chocolate milk is one of those things that I absolutely just, you know, I love chocolate milk. Again, turtle in the hair. When it comes to diet, do you want to be the person that does absolute pure and utter crystal clear perfection? Sure. But not if you can only do it for a short period of time. If you can handle absolute pure utter perfection, that's great. But can you handle it indefinitely? Therein lies the problem. If you can't, and then you find yourself rebounding off of it, better to make a diet that's mostly healthy with a few things in it that aren't obviously unhealthy. Because if you compare whole milk to chocolate milk, they're actually not so different. Like chocolate milk isn't like more massive in calories or anything like that. It's got more sugar, of course. Whole milk's got more fat, which is dense in calories. But like drinking this, it gives me something to look forward to every day. And it's good and it's delicious and I love it. And it helps keep me on track. You know, you could just eat, like I said, absolute crystal clear perfection. But the moment you rebound off that diet because you can't handle it, one more day of utter pure perfection, and then you rebound and you cheat and you eat a big pizza and this and that ice cream, well then, who's being more efficient? The person who has like a mostly clean diet with a few things that are good and not like crystal clear, but they stick with it for like a year straight and beyond, or the person who like, oh man, my diet's crystal clear, and they like regurgitate how this food's so amazing, and then they eat that food for like 2 weeks and then they can't take it anymore, and then they start buying potato chips. I mean, just have things in your diet, you know, that allow, like, I could realistically do this for a year plus. Rather than I'm frothing at the mouth and I'm going to sleep every night thinking about potato chips and ice cream and I daydream about it until the point where you finally succumb and then you just go full blown into it. Like, bro, this is good. Like, sure, is chocolate milk slightly worse than whole milk? Slightly. But nowhere within the realm of, like, ice cream, bro. You know? Of cheesecake. Not even close. In fact, chocolate milk is actually pretty damn good for working out because it restores the glycogen in the muscles. It's actually fantastic. Google it. Google it. Oh, damn. Okay. I think it's rollouts next, right? We got two more. Two more. Where them rollout boys at? Roll out. Roll out. Bum 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 bum. Oh, really? I must have done it somewhere else. Oh, here is where I did it. Okay. All right. Bruh, I just can't not keep slurping it. It's so slurpable, it's so good. Before I put it down, I want to pick it right back up. Okay, maybe we'll just finish her off. Now, when I went up to 207, when I was bulking and increased my muscle mass, like lifting, I was literally twice as strong in almost every exercise. Or even more. I was drinking 3 of these a day, bro. 3. So you can imagine delicious goodness 3 times a day. Yeah, like it was really easy to keep on track. Milk is just fantastic. I feel for you if you're lactose intolerant. I'm so sorry. I'm sure there's alternatives, I guess. I don't know because I'm not lactose intolerant. I looked a little bit into it, but again, I'm not lactose intolerant, so I haven't done as much research as somebody who is. Obviously, is gonna know way more than me. So you would know yourself way more than I would. So I wouldn't even begin to try and explain to you what anything. But I'm sure there's alternatives. All right. Let's get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. And this kind of needs to be out of the way because we're going to be on the ground here. Now, you can use the free weights. Sorry. Over here. You can use free weights to do this, and you can, depending on how your free weights are, you can either use them to use their rolling if they're circular, or you can drag them. Dragging's a bit more difficult, but because I used to have to drag mine because they're not fully circular. But you can roll them, you can drag them, or you can get an ab wheel. The ab wheel is much better, but it's not to say that you can't do it with the free weights, because I don't think everyone here, probably nobody here, has an ab wheel. But if you want one, I got mine from Walmart. Like I said, it was like $10, $15 maybe. Real cheap, just in the, they have a little section with the workout balls and that stuff, and you just pick the workout ball up for $15 and the ab wheel out for again 10, $15 if you want one. This is a rollout wheel. Again, ab rollouts, very much superior to planks from the research I've done. Planks are actually not so great because you're not getting that contraction, and the contraction is really good for your muscles. How every muscle, you're when you're doing a bicep curl, do your bicep curls look like this? And you just hold the weight there I'm bicep curling. Look, I'm holding. No, you go like this. You contract the muscle all the way. Same with this. Your abs are no different. Just because they're abs doesn't mean they operate differently than this. They're still a muscle. So, planks, they're okay. They're not great. The other thing, sit-ups, they're okay. They kind of make your low back prone to injury. They have a really high injury profile for your back. So sit-ups aren't the greatest either. Crunches, they're a little bit better, but bro, this is the gold standard, bro. Ab rollouts. You'll see why in a second here if you've never done one. You can do it with free weights, or you can get this. Only problem with the ball is it keeps wanting to roll out over here. Stay over there. You stay there. Okay. So this one, it's a bit better if you have something to keep your feet against, especially when you're starting out. Now, you don't have to have something like this, but if you're just starting out, it makes it a little bit easier. And then we're doing exactly what you think we're going to do, boys. We're literally just rolling out and rolling back in. So we're going to get that full muscle contraction. What is it? Eccentric and decentric? Can't remember the super scientific terms, but we're doing that. So you go out, and then back in. One. Whew, it's rough. The further out you go, the harder it is. You don't have to go all the way out. And you probably won't be able to go all the way out because it's extremely difficult for the untrained. So don't fret if you can't go all the way out. It's not easy, and even I struggle with it. Two. You can hear in my voice. You can listen to the struggle, boys. Three. Four. Five. Six. And another thing, you can have something under the knees here. Seven. Like so. This makes it easier on the knees. Eight. 9. Oh, damn. 10. I went a bit deep there. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. Whew. Now if you wanted, you could just go to like here. You could just go like, and then back. I think when I started, that's what I was doing. I was just going like, and then back. You don't have to go deeper. Just do it you can, and progress from there. But yeah, that's going to be great, and doing your abs is great for the low back as well. It gives you more core stability. Massive upgrades in quality of life. Like I said, even if you don't want to look like a Greek statue, it's great just for general life. You know, I don't know how many times I injured my low back, or I have my friends complaining about how they threw their low back out. I promise you, you do anything like this and you stick to it for like 6 months, and your propensity to injure your low back and stuff will be a thing of the past. As long as you're not doing anything crazy in your workouts to damage it. And you can tell, if you do an exercise and you're like, ooh, that was kind of rough on my low back, don't ignore that feeling. Either do a different exercise or reduce the weight. Don't let your ego stand in the way and get yourself injured. There was an exercise I was doing called Otis ups, and they're basically like a sit-up, but you have free weights in your hand, so you're doing a sit-up with free weights in your hand, and then you're raising the free weights above your head. And I was doing that, and then I like tweaked the right side of my low back. Just a little bit. Thankfully, it wasn't like a center, like nerve or anything like that. It was just like the muscle to the side of the low back. Thankfully, it was just the muscle to the side, spasmed a little bit, and it was sore for about 4 days. And thankfully, it was just a muscle, so it recovered rather quickly. Thankfully, but I learned my lesson. And I cut Otis ups entirely out of my routine. And I don't even want to do anything remotely close to anything that is any variation of sit-up because, again, I want to be safe with my low back. I don't want to do exercises that are going to throw my back out or anything else out for that matter. So, yeah. Okay, so we did 16. Again, we're just doing one set of each for now. And we're going to be doing our final exercise. Now normally I would stop there. If I was doing 3 sets of each, I'd stop there. But we're going to throw in some curls. Don't really need to worry about doing the triceps because the triceps have pretty much already been hit by the other exercises we were doing because they're compounds. And even the biceps were used somewhat, but I think I'll hit up the biceps for a set. I'm not going to hit up the triceps because, I mean, those have already been kind of used in the other exercises. Okay, so we're looking at 22.5. And I know I did a set last week, but I must not have wrote it down. That's a shame. I did it like 2 weeks ago. I did like an interim set. That's what you'd see like the June 20th or something like that. And I know I did this too, but I must not have tracked it as the final exercise. I must have forgot. That's okay. It's not super important. We probably just did a bit less than 34. So because this is alternating, actually, yeah, the last time I did this, I felt a little bit in my elbow, and actually, now that I'm doing this, I can feel a little bit in my elbow right now. So we're actually just gonna stop here. Perfect way to handle things. Look, if your body tells you, hey, and it's not a muscle pain, and it's a pain that's like something else, don't mess with it. There's no rush. So yeah, it's nothing major, but this elbow, no pain when I do this, and this one it's like just slightly in there. Happened last time I did it. So yeah, we're just gonna chill here and not stress ourselves. So I think it was the curls last time. But anyways, yeah, just listen to your body, bruv. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Just chew off what you can handle. And of course, you could crank out this exercise way quicker than I've done it here today. But just kind of trying to overall archingly explain a lot of concepts that I've learned and my opinion on things. You know, I am not the fittest man on the planet, but I'm not terrible. And I'm only going to get more fit as time goes on. So practice what you preach. I know where I'm going. I know where I'll be a year from now. Do you? Do you know where you'll be for a year from now? Well, that's up for you to decide. I don't think I know where I'm going to be a year from now. That's where my headspace is at. I mean, clearly, if I'm a guy that's setting up streaming and getting all this stuff working and however whatnot, I'm a doer. Little bit of a doer. Anyway, we'll get there. All right, boys. Next Thursday, we'll try and do every Thursday. We'll get at least this. We'll probably get it done a lot quicker. There was a few things I wanted to cover. I'll probably upload this one to my main channel. Usually I only upload these workout videos on my subsidiary channel, James Hennessy Fitness. I'm not sure that'll remain the name of that channel. I've been putting my VODs and stuff on there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. For now, this one will be going on my main one, so yeah, I won't be going quite as detailed, in depth on every workout I do. I might play around with the chat a little bit depending on how things go, but for the most part, I'll be more so in tune with getting the workout done, and not so much the prep talk. But that will happen, as people need help, some pointers, and there might be some things that I might regurgitate, or there might be new things that I might say. Anyways, we'll see how it all goes, and you can either watch me on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, at 10 p.m. Eastern. I will be playing horror games, or you can watch me on either Tuesday or Wednesday. It might be both Tuesday and Wednesdays. It might be either just Tuesday or just Wednesday, which I might be playing some co-op game with Ellie as a guest. Right now we're playing Sons of the Forest. It's a really fun game, horror game. And then I would be looking to do my workout stream on Thursdays. I used to be doing 2 days a week, but again, we're cutting and we're taking it chill, so we're just doing once a week. But those will be on Thursdays, and then if I feel like streaming anything else is just a bonus, it'll just be some whatever game, just me having fun, just chilling, playing something whatever, then that will be whenever. That can happen at any time. But it won't be horror games specifically on the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, that's like the mainstay of the content. Workout stream on Thursday. Potential co-op, and then the other stuff is more of a bonus. Potential co-op streams on Tuesday and Wednesday, or just any of the other days. Could just be me playing any old random game, having a good time. So hopefully we see you around. Till then, we'll see you next time. Peace.